be looking at some Reaper, uh, Seraph on the blue team. What we'll maybe looking at a Reaper is just kind of figuring out how we can off angle a lot and how we can create a lot of pressure that's not just kind of I'm shooting main tank, I'm just kind of running it down Reaper. That's kind of what everybody thinks he does. When in reality, he's really good at that, but he's also really good at kind of being like someone that just creates a lot of like chaos in the back line. And then he's this, very overpowered ability called Wraith, obviously, and it allows him to do that without dying and getting back to his team, and then actually putting out a very good kind of, frontlining pressure. So what we're looking to do is kind of just finding short range off angles. So obviously for super far away, our shotguns aren't going to do anything. Um, so we're finding little kind of tight spaces, stuff like that. Um, we can do that by TPing, set before the fight, which we'll talk about later, or second, sorry, and then making sure we're looking for targets that will create a lot of pressure. Now, what are targets that make a lot of pressure? Is it like maybe low HP targets, right? Whether that be low HP because they took damage before, or just kind of like squishies. Because obviously, getting the kill is the best case scenario, but making it so that they need a lot of peel, right? If you shoot a Winston for 50 damage, it's not the end of the world for his team, right? Just gonna kind of heal it like they normally would. But if you hit a McCree for say 50 HP, I guess a better example would be Moira in this case. That's like a fourth of her health, and then people actually need to help her out instead of a tenth of Winston's health. And then setting it before the fight. This could be trying to get on the angle like before. Um, and then getting high ground's like the best case scenario. Same when you're TPing in the back. Just makes it a little safer, makes it a little kind of more surprise. And another reason why being on the behind them or on a flank is really good, because if you're not, you're all stacked six, kind of shooting them from the front. What they can do is actually just kind of back up, and you can't really stop them, right? So if you're behind them, and then you like amp speed in, for example, you're behind, they start backing up, you're there ready for it, gonna chunk them for a lot of damage. So we'll head into it. Just kind of doing this classic semester TP. And then right here, what we should be looking to do is trying to get around here on the backline. Obviously, we can right now. It's a little early. Talk about timing maybe another day, but um, we have a Wraith back and our team's pushing in. If you look to go behind, shoot this Moira. What's going to happen when we shoot the Moira, right? The D.Va's going to turn around. The Moira's going to turn around. Everybody's going to turn around. Now nobody's helping the Winston. So maybe even though you're shooting the Moira, maybe the Winston actually gets lower HP than you sitting here shooting the Winston directly. Like that Wraith there wasn't really necessary. Kind of just thought we were going to die, but we weren't really. And if you really think about it, if you're using Wraith to just kind of cancel like Sombra hack, the hack's doing the value it want to do, right? Now you don't have Wraith. So again, we regrouped. We should be looking to try and go behind with the TP. We get hacked, unlucky. Okay, we're pushing in. Right now, be a really good TP. Right up here, you'll be shooting the Moira, and they also can't just back up and like maybe try and get a reset. Not a full reset, but like some of us get out. Where if you kind of play here, shooting them in the back, you're gonna find just as many kills as you would in the front. But now it's gonna be harder for them to stall, harder for them to like maybe try and one or two of them get out. You can see they just kind of run away. So they feed back in. Okay, so we have point control. Now we're gonna talk about the setup, right? We can kind of dictate where the fight's gonna happen. We can maybe infer depending on how our teams are setting up. Now this is a scrim, so this was communicated kind of normal. We're gonna fight this choke, right? So really, really good spot we can be is right here, because then when the fight happens, we can either drop in and shoot them right here, or if we want to let them push out a bit, you can then drop like this, and you're already on the off angle. Boom, boom, boom. You shoot the Moira, they turn around, they chunk you down, you wraith out, now you're back at the front. Where if we stand here, we're just shooting the Winston, that's it. That's their kind of only option. And they can back up, do whatever they like. They have choices. Okay, so engaging. And now this is a great, like, really nice EMP, a decent Death Blossom, right? But imagine this Death Blossom came in right here. Now, why would this be a bit better? Because now if they try and speed out, and felt like maybe, if we're talking like a high level team, probably would have done this, like, they're not going to have everybody stack up in group like this. We're catching them from behind, so then even if they back up, they die. If they go forward into their team, they're hacked, obviously, so they're going to die. So it still works out, but we could have just done, could have been a little better. That idea goes for if you're Reaper ulting with no EMP or whatever it may be. So again, looking to TP on high ground, that's going to be on off angle, right? The high ground we just TP to. If we stayed up there, we're just doing the same thing as we're playing main, so it doesn't make a difference. So again, as you see, we just shot a D.Va, Winston's backline. You see, even though yes, Reaper does, have two shotguns and a cool ability, like they can still walk forward because Moira is built to heal a tank. Like tanks are built to take damage. That's the whole point of them. Where shooting a Moira, for example, maybe catching the enemy Reaper off guard if he's making the same mistake. They're like, that's a lot more value doing 100 damage to them than is doing 100 damage to Winston. Misclicking. Okay. So again, kind of just a cleanup fight. So now we can't really set up, but we still need to try and get a flank, right? Walking there is obviously great. TPing is always going to be the main idea you're going to try and do with Reaper. And we actually have a really good example of us accidentally finding a good angle here from this fight. So we take this to fight. And I'm pretty sure we accidentally do this, but we go over here and Winston goes main. And then just one shot, force out fade, makes it more very killable because she's low HP, just by one shot. And again, same idea as like I think the first fight or so. Look to TP in the back, maybe a couple seconds before this. Now we're probably gonna get more kills, catch them off guard, whatever. I'm looking at the wrong Reaper. But pretty simple, just a cleanup fight. Again, same idea as before. Maybe trying to get on high ground, whether that be up here, right? If we're trying to fight them under here, maybe. Again, we're kind of just stacked main. Die. So then here, again, I'm kind of cherry picking this example because obviously it's kind of spur of the moment. But say you did know you're gonna fight them in this room, much better again. Reaper Blossom, you're coming from here and blossoming here, because they want to back up. They want to kite, for example, but they're kiting into a Reaper ult. Where if you just Reaper ult with your team, and they kite back, if we're just chilling right here, blossoming, they can back up. If we're playing here, they're backing up into a reaper ult. Pretty simple, just a clean up of ratio. Okay, so again, making sure we're trying to get on an off-angle flank, and then obviously we can play frontline Reaper, but we're doing that after a race spin force, after we use our TP for example, so we're actually getting value out of those abilities. And we play with a Tracer on Lighthouse, but it's not too much to go over. It's kind of a roll, and it is again not the best map to go over, because it is pretty sure it was 100-0, but there is some stuff very similar in Tracer to go over.
Ready for battle.
12 something on here. Okay, a little before. So in Tracer, again, it's the same thing. I won't write it down. But we're trying to get on. Tracer's a little more versatile. So there are times where you can play. I don't want to say frontliney, but kind of just like shoot tanks from the side on an angle. This Tracer, she's where Reaper just has a Wraith and that's it. She has a lot more blinks, recall, stuff like that to do. She's a little more range. She's still not a sniper, obviously, but she can have some range over heroes like Reaper, for example. So if you're playing into a really brawly type comp like 6-man, you can play a little farther away, a little safer. You don't have to try and kill the Moira because you're a little better than Reaper at shooting maybe maybe the enemy Reaper or the enemy Sombra from range. But then we look at a comp like Double Shield, it kind of changes. Now, what we want to do against Double Shield is they're going to have ranges, right? McCree's, Soldiers, like even Baps, stuff like that. Arisa's, Sigma. If we're taking a range battle, we're going to lose, maybe not die, but have a recall force, etc. And we're not going to do any damage. Where we beat them is close range on the flank. Now, if we just walk in like this, and just like a Reinhardt, and just come in, we're going to die. So we need to find a way to get on the back line and actually, put a pressure that way. So starting left's good. Now, why starting left's good? You can fight over the Mega, whatever. But here, you can actually go on a flank like this. Imagine how good it would have been if you were right here. Now, instead we kind of waste some time doing this. We still haven't done anything this fight. We still haven't done anything. This isn't really good value. This is a really good angle. Obviously, we mistime it a bit. But look how much you do. We'll go back a second. We can just turn on the spectator overlay. When you come flank, 4 people, the McCree, Lucio, Bap, and Soldier all looked at you for that second. If you timed it a bit better, it would have been a lot longer. But that's what Tracer can do. Now, if you're standing right here, either people look at you and you die, or people just don't look at you because you're not doing anything.
The objective is
I'm taking the objective. Converge on me.
Obviously, kind of just won the fight already. But again, this is good. We're annoying them. This is what people, support someone playing against Tracer. They're always just turning around. You can't really kill your tanks because you have to deal with the Tracer. The enemy Soldier, McCree's here that are better at shooting tanks can't really shoot tanks because they have to deal with the Tracer. It's the same idea, right? So we do a better job here than we did on Reaper of setting up before the fight. Now, something we do a lot is we kind of peek out and give our position away. Now, that's fine a lot if, again, we're playing that kind of rangy Tracer playstyle, maybe against brawl comps or enemy dives, because we're building ult, stuff like that. But us getting 10-20% ult charge and then being in a terrible position for the fight isn't really worth it, right? Now, here, 82%, so I'm fine with it. But generally not. Unless they're going to build ult off of the little poke you're going to get. Again, obviously we're building ult charge. I know why we're doing it. But you seal what we're doing from range.
Time's up.
So again, little risky pulse bomb. Now again, what would we rather do? We'd rather get on this flank, deal with McCreamy, look for stick on him, whatever, maybe he's pushed up a bit more and you can do the same thing for stick. But we're on the flank, actually making them do like a full 180 turn, ignoring our team. And again, we're mistimed, stuff like that, but that's for another time, I guess we'll talk about. Because we're playing so far away, it's easy for them to force us out. Again, our time's a little off, so when we had this barrage, though it does good value, if we were there, I would have gotten even more. Or we would have got more value, vice versa. Obviously, this is a cheesy example, but imagine just doing this all game.
Triple kill.
Anyone else?
Team kill.
Hello there.
So again, setting up right side, that's fine. Left side's fine too. We're just not really giving we don't give our spot away. So then we're actually surprising them on the flank and we actually get behind them. So if we show ourselves too early, they can come and force us out much easier.
Back in the fight.
Again, could have been a lot worse. Now they know where we are. We don't have blinks. Again, we're doing the same thing. We're shooting this Orisa. Yes, we have 5% ult charge, but then look how we're positioned for the fight. This is good. A little stupid hesitation, but not a big deal. Again, we weren't set for the fight. Imagine we were playing this high ground right here, just shooting them. Alright, obviously we couldn't shoot them for free, but they would have to turn and all look at us. But we're struggling to actually get behind now because we put ourselves in a really bad spot to start.
Double kill.
I'm on fire.
Victory.
Yeah, so that's mainly it, right? We're trying to get on a flank, right? We do this for all heroes. Widowmaker. Any character in the game, figure out what their range is, right? If we're a long range hero like Widowmaker, get on long angles, right? Obviously, like straight behind them, Widowmaker's a little scuffed, but we play an angle that's an off angle. That's a long sightline, right? Junkertown first. They're playing like an Ash, again long sightline, maybe a little shorter than Widowmaker, but we're getting an off angle. That's Ash's range. McCree, same thing. We're getting an off angle. That's McCree's range. Reaper, short range. There's not like really too many DPS characters that want to like hard stack main 24/7. Now, a character like Mei, who doesn't really have much mobility, doesn't really have too much range either. She is probably the best example of wanting to stay main, but even her doesn't want to play on top of her run. She wants to little cut off. That way, she doesn't have to shoot shields. She doesn't have to shoot tanks. She can actually maybe hit a right click on the backline or maybe freeze like the enemy like diva or something. She doesn't have to like shoot a Ryan shield. And then how to make it easier for us is doing it before the fight happens if we have the option to, if we're like defending the objective, is when we want to do that. And then Tracer mainly not giving your position away. Same thing on Reaper too. If you do go on a flank, don't like start firing from a mile away and give your position away. That's kind of it for the stream. I do want to start stream. I will start streaming more, looking to get 3 uploads on YouTube a week. Just kind of sorting some stuff out with the team I coach, stuff like that. But expect more in the future. I guess I'll see you guys later.